What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel, where today we are going to bring my guest and friend here on the show, where we are going to be discussing Hawkeye Episode 3, titled Echoes. And man, what an episode it was. If you haven't got a chance to see the episode, you're probably not going to want to be hanging out here because we are definitely going to be getting into spoilers right off the bat. This is going to be a spoiler-filled discussion, and we've got a couple other things that we're going to talk about that relate to this series as well. But let's go ahead and bring on my guest for the day. We've got my man Chillmonger in the building. What is up?
Hello.
What is up, man? How are you doing this morning?
Doing wonderful.
Awesome. I guess first off, starting off, what were your thoughts on episode 3 coming out of the first 2 episodes?
This episode was better than last week's and the other 2 episodes prior, and it was all in one. I would take this one over the last 2. There were flaws when anything related to a gun came, just like the last week's episode. Anytime you've seen, okay, well, I guess they're not shooting right now. I guess for the plot demands dictates that they've got to be hand-to-hand fighting inside there. And then there's other times where, oh, look, okay, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are far enough away where it's time to start shooting again. It's like, all right, guys, this is other than that major flaw, which I think is a huge ordeal. Other than that, everything in this show was just like smooth. Even the little hint of Mr. Vincent D'Onofrio showing up there. We just saw this right here. But if I ever saw a Kingpin wrist, that was a Kingpin wrist. And I like what they're teasing that. Seeing the character at the kind of beginning of the Echo Maya Lopez thing, that child actor looks just like the adult actor, right? We got to give him points for doing good casting. But she has a very relatable, understandable story for me, the new viewer who's barely introduced to this character.
Yeah, absolutely. And and that was one of the things I've got in my review, which I'm going to be dropping here on the channel later. I've got it uploaded and everything. But I think what they are doing definitely, I like watching especially these first 3 episodes and thinking about the past series. Marvel has definitely learned their lesson when it comes to some things, and that's with the storytelling and the characters and kind of the development here, because I feel in this series so far, through these first 3 episodes, they have done a fantastic job introducing these characters and kind of who they are in each one, and leaving enough mystery at the end of each episode. Like, I don't know, I think they've kind of learned everything from their comic books to their movies to what they're hearing fans and everything say out there, even not even just relating to Marvel, but even just like overall fandoms in general in that kind of stuff, which is really seems just like simplistic, basic storytelling, and getting these characters and introducing them and giving us a little bit of who they are to start driving the story forward. I feel they've really hit just such a perfect stride in this series.
They have, and it's halfway through. The thing with different characters and who they're introducing, when we go into this, we kind of see the IMDb. Oh, look, it says Yelena Belova's casted here for 4 episodes, which obviously is not true because we haven't seen her for 3 episodes. So that's false. But like when we go into this, we wonder how are they going to juggle all these characters. Then we see them execute, because I feel like Kate and Clint, Clint's already who he is, but Kate and Clint are taken care of. We get in Maya Lopez, she's taken care of. Now they're going to nail Kingpin, because so far so good. Every character is going to get their little time to shine. So far so good. I feel like that's the direction we're going, and this is going to be the best show on Disney Plus. Has potential to be. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier was my favorite, but this could, great episode, bro,
Definitely. Yeah. And again, like, this episode, obviously, like we're talking about the introduction of these characters and expanding this world of these characters, what I've really enjoyed. And like you're saying there at the very beginning, I do like what they did with getting into Maya Lopez, introducing her. And, you said we do see that hint at Kingpin. We've heard the rumors of Vincent D'Onofrio coming in and reprising his role as Kingpin, and some of the things that they're going to do with this character. Supposedly they're going to have him CG'd in there a little bit to be a little bit larger than life than he was even in the Daredevil series on Netflix. So
that would uncanonize the Daredevil Netflix stuff. And I'm not sure that they want to do that. I feel like that would burst the bubble of a lot of fans where they see a CGI'd Kingpin. They go, wait, that means that he's not the same. Can you imagine if Vincent D'Onofrio was actually that guy in episode 3? And that was his only role in the whole show.
Oh man, that would definitely be the boner moment that everybody was waiting for. And at least they pulled it out early.
Yes, it's always good to pull out your boner early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on how things are going, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it gets really hard.
But let's get into the live chats here and say what's up to everybody before we go on. I see we've got some oh man, of course this thing's acting weird on me right now. There we go. We've got some great people in the building. Of course, we've got Lucas Texvenger, my man Jason Strobes, and Mike Porter in the building, as well as who else we've got in here? Johnny on the Spot is here, as well as Star Wars MCOG. Thank you all so much for being here, guys. Go ahead and share your thoughts, what you thought about the episode and the series here in the chats. Oh, I was gonna say I actually turned you up on my end as well, there, Chillmonger, on the microphone thing. So okay. It should be a little bit better. Okay. Banger of an episode, huh? Yes, says Chillmonger. Jason Strope says amazing episode. Lucas Texvenger says such a great episode. Yeah, agreed. What's Mike Porter say? Where's he at? Where's Mike Porter saying at? I don't see it. I don't see him saying anything yet. But I know my man Mike License to Show Porter has nothing but good things to say about it. Jason Strope says, could be my favorite episode of anything so far that is MCU centric. You know, and I gotta tell you, like, that's one of the things I've felt about this series altogether myself, is I'm not sure what they're doing in this series, but like, these first 3 episodes are absolutely great. To me, these first 3 episodes are the best 3 episodes that the MCU has put out so far in any of these shows, and we're halfway through it. And they're not doing anything. Like, they're not reinventing the wheel here. Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing a good job doing some storytelling and introducing these characters. Reefer Man says he's driving, listening. Good episode, felt, even though they showed half of it during the Disney Plus update. Yes, absolutely, they did too. Because I felt like actually when we seen that scene when they're escaping from the tracksuit mafia, I was like, man, I feel like I've seen this. Like, I feel like I already seen this in the episode, you know? And it really felt like not even a case of deja vu, which I had yesterday, but I was like, didn't they already do this? I was like, wait a minute. We need D'Onofrio to pull a Colin Farrell a la his Penguin in the new Batman. Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, they're talking about the CGI in him, you know, making him bigger. I would imagine, because he's a pretty big dude anyway, you don't really have to do too much to it, I wouldn't think. I mean, make him a little wider, maybe.
Taller also?
Yeah, maybe a little taller, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's funny when it comes to those kind of things, like, are they really going to do that? Because he's a pretty big dude, compared to most people anyway. But yeah, that would be great. But yeah, D'Onofrio is a pretty big dude anyway, so yeah. I want to be sure to hear the full discussion. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I was getting ready to say that too. Lucas Texvenger brings it up there in the chats, is the Hank Pym arrow. The Hank Pym arrow scene.
See, as a fan and someone who knows what it means that it says Pym Tech on the arrow as she's aiming it and shooting it, you go, oh, I know what this does, because Hank Pym has the ability to shrink. This is going to be an arrow that shrinks. And then she shoots it. And then your brain starts thinking, well, yeah, it can shrink and it can enlarge. And now this whole thing is in the air and the suspense is going up. And it's only because we're fans, we're thinking it. Is it going to shrink? Is it going to get bigger? And then we get to see the thing get bigger. We're like, oh, we were expecting it to shrink. And it just comes out of nowhere and it gives you the reverse effect of what you were expecting. And it was so much greater for someone who knows exactly what Pym particles do. That's them rewarding the fans for being smart. Yeah. Every part of the trick arrow, every time she pulled up one exploded like some incinerary arrow, and she goes, what? There were 4 more dangerous than that one? The plunging, the one that sticks, what do you call that? The suction arrow. That thing I mean, okay, it's lame and everything. I thought it was just serving as a joke, but no, he needed to pick that thing back up because they were going to use that to hop on that subway. I love when writing does that. I love when it's always tied up, and they executed that here with the arrows while keeping it light, especially with the I'm deaf jokes. Even when they were on the train and talking, like we should probably walk the dog, and he says the same thing later. That comedy hit with me. It's because I like these two characters. Kate, bro. How many times am I gonna say bro? Accent. Kate came through, bro. It's a character I like now, and I hope that she can in these 6 days. I hope that she can get the Hawkeye name, and they do it properly. I doubt you're not gonna make me believe you're Hawkeye after 6 days, and I do hope that Clint is out of the picture if she's gonna become Hawkeye, unlike comic books when there's two at the same time. But I'm rooting for this character.
Yeah, definitely. And and that was one of the things like in the episode, like you're talking about there too, like with the like they're obviously doing a lot of like the signing and everything. And then we seen that he was having that scene there where he was talking to his son on the phone. Like I thought that was a really cool scene because like you could see all of a sudden the weight of her realizing the weight of her actions in that scene as she was sitting there talking to his son. I was like, dang man, like they're doing some just really great writing in this series, man. Like and that's one of the things I gotta say. Kudos to the writers of this damn series. I don't know who I haven't even looked up their names, who it is, but these guys, whoever it
It's
was,
Jack Schaefer.
is it? Don't.
No.
I was gonna say, don't
No.
say that. Oh man, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
It's really just Ryan Johnson.
Oh dude, you trying to trigger people down there in the
I-
comments, aren't you?
I just triggered myself, bro. I refuse to watch anything from that man, including Knives Out. I don't care how great that film was. No way I'm checking that out. Sorry, but yeah, you were saying the writing does deserve credit, but let's not let them off the hook for every time they're being chased by guns, but then also conveniently not being chased by guns at the same time. That's a problem for me.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We've got a list of names here. Obviously, credit to all the original creators of these characters, but we've got let's see, Jenna Noel Frazier wrote one episode. Elisa Lumnitz Clement wrote one episode. It says Don Heck wrote 2 episodes, as well as Heather Quinn was a staff writer. Well, I don't know. I guess they're saying Don Heck was just Hawkeye created by. So, yeah.
My money's on Elisa. Thank you, Elisa.
They've got like the head writer here, Jonathan Igla, and then Tanner Bean is saying who it's written by and the executive story editor. But so the people they've got in charge here, they're doing something right here. Like I said, it's unfolded before my very eyes. Very good. Just at least good storytelling with these characters. Whether it holds true to the comics or not, I honestly can't say for the most part when it comes to these characters, except for Hawkeye and Swordsman here, obviously, which I thought was a cool way to end the episode as well.
Yeah, with the switchblade type style of sword that we saw and we thought, where is it and who has it? They don't forget in this show. It's the writing is tight and it adds to like a climactic ending of an episode. Of course, it wasn't as climactic as last time's, but climactic enough. Like that's interesting. I'm sure Yelena will end the next week's episode with something climactic, like you killed Black Widow. She got mentioned in this episode, and it's a thing. Look, he died. Ronin, quote unquote, Ronin died. And from a certain point of view, didn't Black Widow kill the Ronin when she's in Japan? And he's like, don't give me hope. He's unmasked and it was all over. In a way, I don't know.
Yeah. It was cool seeing them kind of just acknowledge a lot of that stuff in here. Like I said, just kind of good job picking out stuff from the past and then world building with that stuff in the future for the future of at least this story with some of the things they're doing here. Like I said, I think it's good stuff. And like RF Gaming channel here says in the chat, says it's not hyperbole to say that Hawkeye is the absolute best MCU series to date. For me, I think it's certainly started off the best, better than any of them. I think a lot of that is also due to a lot of the filming restrictions and stuff like that they probably had in place at the time of development of the previous series. I'll give them that. to a point, because to me, I still think that going back and looking, WandaVision is still my favorite one, and I really do enjoy that series. And I actually put it on in the background when I'm doing stuff quite often. You know, maybe as I'm sometimes going to sleep, you know, reading some comics or something, and you know, have it on there. Like, just good stuff. Good stuff.
And then Agatha all along starts, and you're like, oh, yeah, then put down this comic and turn that up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not much continuity here from Hawkeye with all the other shows. They just kind of mention things that happened a long time ago. Really, nothing that's gonna be mentioned in the Doctor Strange film or anything that's happened really recently. You know what they had? The deli from Spider-Man: Homecoming. I saw that.
Yeah.
It was on screen for a little bit.
One of the things, you know, speaking of which, little things I've kind of noticed here all together, and I think I kind of brought it up last week when he was talking about when they were there at the Rogers play, and he says, "Yeah, you know who wasn't there? That guy, Ant-Man." And they had him there, and I'm like, well, if you look at it, he was there. He technically was when they went back in time and everything. And then we also see that when he's using that arrow in this episode, it says Pym-Tech on there. And Hank Pym was underground for, you know, for one, he was missing for some years. And then, you know, before that, obviously he was underground. They changed, you know, his company went from Pym-Tech to, it changed to Cross Industries, you know, in the first Ant-Man. So, like, all of that stuff, like, when did all of that change? Change
Wait,
back. Like,
are you certain that Cross took over Pym-Tech in the first Ant-Man and they changed the name of the company?
well, I mean, they had the logo plastered everywhere inside the building and everything when he went there for that visit there at the beginning, and then we know in Ant-Man 2 he was still on the run. So it's like it begs the question, I guess, of what you kind of brought up last week is when does this take place? If it's been years since the Ronin was spotted, this kind of.
When does this take place?
It makes me think the same thing. But it's like, it kind of makes me think of like the timelines too. And like, is this like one of those divergent timelines? Because as I said, I mean, we still got the Ant-Man mention in there. He mentions that. We see the Pym-Tech. I'm like, I don't know. It just makes me ask questions when it comes to stuff like that.
I wouldn't ask those questions, but it does leave room for interpretation. They should just say what year it is, you know, before every single Marvel project now, because we need that question answered. Maybe the directors or the producers answered this question like it's 1 year and 3 months after Endgame. That's kind of something we need to know.
Yeah, certainly. And I see
it's not like Black Panther. Remember in Black Panther where it started off right after the death of T'Chaka, and so we're like, okay, so this is 2016. We understood that. They got to be more specific nowadays with all these projects. You see your man who?
Right. Yeah, Mike Porter, I see here says, how do I feel about Hawkeye in episode 3? Like I do all MCU. Historic and wonderful. Beautifully executed, he says. Johnny on the spot also says, can we just acknowledge that the Daredevil director's cut was the best non-MCU Marvel movie? You know what? I can't... I need to go through and compare the two. Because I've watched both of them, and I'm not a hater on the Daredevil movie. Like, it's got some cheesy stuff, and there's definitely some things, but I you know what? I like Matt Murfleck. Bring it back. Mike Porter also says trick arrows and a hint of Kingpin. Also echo. Chef's kiss to episode 3. Yes. It sounds like pretty much most of us here are in agreement. On this episode, definitely.
It was a strong episode, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. And gosh, there was some other things I was thinking about as well. You know, there's been talk as well about her father, Kate Bishop's father, not being dead. And
well, then, who's evil? Stepdad's evil, right?
Huh?
This someone's got to be evil. If her biological dad is actually not dead and secretly alive and secretly evil, then what the hell does that make the stepdad? Because we saw him underground talking to Mr. Duquesne about, or Armand, sorry, talking to him all evil. I don't want the dad to be alive. I want Kate Bishop's dad to be dead.
Yeah, I think they're just patsies, I guess. You know, they're just kind of there to to make us think that they're maybe the villains. I'm just guessing. That is if her father's still alive, because the one of the things I was thinking about was like we see her mother and she seems villainous. Like I said in the first episode, we see her say like, "Oh, solutions don't just fall out of the sky," and it kind of seems like her solution did fall right out of the sky, according to the discussion that they were having before everything happened. And also, we kind of seen how her and Kate's relationship obviously wasn't that good when he went up there to talk to her. But then the death off screen thing, like it's one of those things that, like, do we have to see stuff? Do we need to see that death on screen? Just like it brings me back to the same thing when it comes to like the Doctor Strange thing and him not being the Sorcerer Supreme yet, where the last time we seen him actually say anything, he's the master of the mystic arts. He hasn't been called the Sorcerer Supreme yet because he hasn't reached that level. It's not just like a title like all willy-nilly. It's not like the name Thor where you just give it to anyway, I guess the point being is I feel like it's something that we have to see when it comes to those kinds of things. And like I said, there's people out there talking about like maybe he's not dead and he's really there kind of behind the scenes. Maybe he's the one that actually killed Armand Duquesne and is maybe kind of back there protecting his daughter still.
Okay,
I mean, because
that's a possibility.
I mean,
I'll put that one in the.
Yeah, I mean, because that was kind of what was said in that very opening scene as well in the movie. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I think it's possible because, but I still feel like her mother, she still seems like villainous. But I also look at both of the actors that were her parents too. Like, I'm not super familiar with the guy who played her father. I only remember him from Molly's Game. But obviously, the woman playing her mother, she's a bit of a better known actress, and I feel like you don't kind of get somebody like that and just put them in a small role. Like, hey, I'm just Kate Bishop's mother. But that's just me. I don't know.
You think this is her only project, or will she be in other things in Marvel?
I think it really depends on who she turns out to be. But I mean, if she does end up being, like a villain, like I've said before, is I kind of feel like, and that was a correction from last week. I kept saying Red Hood when I meant Crimson Cowl, from the Marvel universe in the comics. Maybe her mother was Crimson Cowl because we even seen her in like the dress and everything. It was in the red, and like I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, man. I guess what do you have anything else from this episode that you'd like to bring up? I mean. I feel like there's a lot that kind of happened here, yet not a whole lot either. Just like I said, just some good story expansion on these characters with stuff.
The biggest highlight of it was the trick arrows, the slow-mo arrows of seeing Hawkeye be Hawkeye inside the little the hideout, which they gotta stop using now, which is kind of smart. Look. If they know her name is Kate Bishop, and that's out, it's about time she calls her mom and says, by the way, you're associated with me, and therefore you are on some wanted list from all of these thugs. That hasn't happened yet. Kate needs to, or Hawkeye needs to, like, get them connected, acquaint these two parties. Now, it looks like that's happening regardless, by the way the episode ended, but that needed to happen. We needed the communication from family to Kate Bishop. On the other side, we got Clint, who's not communicating with his family. The kid called, it was little Nathaniel, right? And that was a cool moment, and he did thank her afterwards for, I guess, translating and writing down the things that the kid was saying. They pulled on our heartstrings. Mm-hmm. And they're making us think, is he going to be home for Christmas?
Right.
Episode 6 will happen, and we'll get an answer to that question, whether it's positive or negative. And they're doing a good job of making me invested.
Absolutely. And that's like I said, we got. I mean, hats off, to the writers of this series so far, because I feel like they're just doing a great job with the storytelling, man. Just everything, like even all the little stuff, like we still don't even know aside from like what was the big thing that they were after at that auction, right? You know, we know.
The
I
watch.
mean, yeah, I mean they were after the watch, but why? What is it about that watch that they're after? What's so special about it? Where we also know, you obviously there's the connection to Ronin, and I think that may have just been happenstance that they came across that. Do you think? Do you think maybe that perhaps?
No, no, Ronin is definitely the goal. That's what Maya Lope Echo wanted. Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
She remember that flashback scene where she's sneaking in and she can see someone through the glass, so she knows something's happening that shouldn't be happening, which is way different than hearing something, hearing a commotion. But when she sees him, you know, Ronin, he only operates in one-shot camera angles, so he's doing his slicing and dicing, and she knows that Ronin is the goal here. I'd like that she's not just killing Kate Bishop because, like, oh well, I'll just get my kill because that's all I care is
Right.
she wants to get Ronin,
Right.
so she's gonna find out the answer to that mystery, won't
Well,
she?
I mean, I think so, but I mean, I kind of feel like maybe they stumbled upon the Ronin thing by happenstance. Like they were there for the watch, and everything else went
Uh-huh.
down. And I think maybe that's where Maya Lopez was like, hey, like, whoa, that's the person that killed all our people, killed my uncle, and everything like that. I think they just happened to stumble because I kind of feel like the like her trench her mafia here is like I don't think they're that smart. I don't think they're that intelligent. I think that's why they just kind of stumbled upon it more so than anything.
I agree with you there. Yeah. So they were there at the auction for the watch or for something that was in Avengers compound. That was the goal. But then they reshifted once she saw that it was actually Ronin.
Right.
And it looks like there was some press back from who's the really good looking guy who knows how to speak sign.
Oh yeah.
That guy was questioning her. Right? He was really good looking.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's like, we don't operate that way. Your dad wasn't that way. So dad is, you know, we saw him in the flashback,
Right.
but uncle is Kingpin, right?
No. Well, I don't know. No, I think her uncle was the guy that was there signing with her, kind of raising her. As
Okay.
far as because I think she even called him uncle there as well.
All right.
In the series, because I was thinking that too. I'm like she did call him uncle, and I was rewatched it as a second time as my kids were watching it before they went to school. I was like, okay, she did say uncle, that was her uncle. So we don't really know where her father has been the whole time. They didn't, but we didn't. I don't know. I don't feel like they gave the illusion that he was dead either. I'm not really for sure there.
Your kids watch Hawkeye before school the same way I used to watch Digimon before school. Those are the best.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it was funny too. Last night, my daughter, before they were going to sleep, like, should we wake up early, like at 6 o'clock, so we can watch it before? I'm like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, absolutely. And
Yes,
they were
isn't
up.
it a chore getting your kids up for breakfast and getting them up to start the day? Now you got this Hawkeye thing every single Wednesday to get them going. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but yeah, so they're into it. I guess you know what it is they probably know there's some little kid at school that goes through there spoiling everything because he watches it early too. Because they definitely know about spoilers. Mike Porter says, I also heard that the hotel in prior episodes that the hotel they were in was the same hotel Kingpin bought in the Netflix Daredevil. That's what I heard. Yeah, I was gonna say I remember hearing something about that as well.
Ah.
Like yeah, the little hotel where I think where they were having like the party and all that stuff, or is that where they were living at? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, crazy stuff. Joshua Rose, thank you so much for being here. Mike Porter also says the tone of the show still has the MCU Disney gloss. Yeah, with a little Netflix flavor, not as dark, like I have said before. Yeah, I think they're giving some violence. They're not going too dark. Yeah, they're not pushing the envelope too far here. I don't think in this series as far as that's concerned. In Star Wars MCUG is going back to work. Have a good one. Oh man, we got Kendall, aka the Sensei, Master Kunch in the building. Says, "What's up? This show is great." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they're doing awesome. Landon TLB is here. Says just got in class, but got the notification. Went to the bathroom. Now I'm here. Dude, get to class, Landon. Get the car. What are you doing?
And don't take any selfies in there.
Right, yeah, no selfies. Kendall says, so is Kingpin the uncle? I don't think so. I mean, they could be calling him the uncle. They could. I mean, they could. I look better than him. No, that was her dad. I'm pretty sure she called him uncle. I'm pretty sure that she called him uncle. The guy that died. She said, "Would you do this if it was my father?" And he said, "Your uncle wouldn't like this." Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch. I mean, I could totally be wrong. So yeah, I'll have to go back and watch. But I thought she said, because I mean, it seemed like very father-daughter, but I figured like maybe he was raising her because her father wasn't there. So hey, it could totally be right. I'll have to go rewatch it again.
Yay!
Yeah, which I have no objections to. I have no objections to that.
It's a good show. It was a very good episode. You know what was a little bit off though? The red Charger that was there. Okay, Clint says we're not gonna deface that vehicle. Where the hell did that come from?
Right. Yeah. He likes that Charger for some reason. He likes that Charger.
There had to have been some sort of reason for why they did that. Maybe they wanted to pay homage to comic books, but also for the scene where the camera's gonna stay in the middle. I guess the back seat wasn't large enough in that car, but the one that they did use had a huge back seat, which allowed for this scene to take place. That had to be the only reason why they got there on set day and they said, "Well, the camera doesn't fit in here. Okay, fine. We're just gonna shoot this way, that way. We're gonna." That getaway car that was supposed to be for the thugs, we're gonna give it to Clint now and just film a scene explaining.
Right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking.
Put him in the damn Lincoln. We can put the whole film crew in there. Yeah, absolutely. They did refer to Kingpin as uncle. Yeah, he took the Charger in the comics, right? Is what Kendall's saying. I'm not for sure. I haven't read the series. I should have bought that thing at that Black Friday sale. Oh man.
I can confirm that the car that they did use was a Charger. It was the exact same car.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Any other final thoughts or anything that you've got for us today, Chillmonger?
Let me look at my notes over here. I wrote that the ending shock fell flat because there's not a mystery of oh my god, the two characters are gonna fight. I know Kate is in the home. I know that the next episode will open up with whoa, stepdad, hold on. That's my friend Hawkeye, that's Clint, or he'll immediately recognize that it's actually Clint Barton because he is a superhero, a popular figure at the end of the day. So there's not going to be these two guys are going to fight. We saw him fencing, he knows how to go, and here comes Hawkeye. If they do, the fight will be a 30-second exchange, and Kate goes, hold on, break it up, dudes, and then she I don't know, we'll get more answers. They are linking their two beefs. So Kate with her stepdad, the death of Armand, all of that with the butterscotch. That's something that Clint now knows about, and they're thinking it's part of the same story. And again, proper ass writing, things are going to collide with each other, and this is the beginning of that. But as far as fighting, nah, Clint's not fighting swordsman yet.
Yeah, I kind of don't see any of that happening as well. And that was something else I forgot to mention too. I think you were kind of talked about it as well, like the scene where they were when they were getting captured and Hawkeye was doing his Hawkeye thing. I thought that action was done pretty well in there, while still giving that kind of that Marvel polish to it, like a little bit of cheesiness. Like at the very last one, he gets he's down in the hero stance. And he's like behind his back. I'm like, nah, like all right. I think they've just found the perfect stride with the storytelling and the world building and just everything they've been having to go into this show. But Chillmonger, do you have anything else coming up that we need anybody else to know about in the chats?
Of course, on Saturday I'm doing 33 burning MCU questions, and every single one of you guys are invited, especially you, Trinity. If you want to jump in, I'll send you the invite link. Same with Skip and Tosh. I see you just popped in here, you are invited. I'll send you guys the link in the live chat. That goes for you, Mike, Wayne, everyone who knows me. RF Gaming channel. I'm not too familiar with you, but I'll give you a chance if you want to come in and join the fun.
All right. Well, guys,
Kendall, I've been trying to get you on, Kendall. Sorry for interrupting, but Kendall, when are we gonna link up, man? Saturday, 33 burning MCU
oh
questions.
yeah, man, we gotta see you and Kendall, guys. You guys get together and have a conversation as well, man. Kendall's awesome, absolutely. Skip and Tosh has joined the building as well. Jared Bishop is joining us right at the very end. Says Kate Bishop is wife gonna be late. Yeah. All right, no problem. Thank you all so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate you guys being here here on these Wednesdays that we have with my man Chillmonger. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because I'm going to be dropping my review here on the channel a little bit later today. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.